Hello Booktube, it's Louise from the Big Head Bookworm, and can you hear the neighbour's dog? It has just started barking just this second. Shall I stop? No, I'll stop. We'll carry on. It could bark all evening, and then what would we be doing? Anyway, how are you? Are you all right? Are you well? Are you enjoying it? It's Tuesday the 31st of May today, and we've had grim weather. We've had grim weather today. It has been grey and cold and wet all day. And of course it is half term, so Benedict is about, the husband is about, and it has just been miserable. Anyway, we have books to lighten our spirits. Yay! And also, I've come here with a different video. So, whether you realise it or not, we are in Book Award season. So the lists have started to come out. So we've had long lists and we're having short lists. A couple of weeks ago, we had the International Man Booker Prize for the translated fiction, which is the vegetarian one by Han Kang. I've not read it, I must admit. It's not something that particularly calls to me to read, but it's getting mixed reviews, mainly good. But there are so many different awards. So the Bailey shortlist has come out. What else are we looking for? We've had the Booker long list. Have we had the Booker long list yet? No, I don't think we have, but we're coming up to the Booker long list coming out. There are so many different awards out. There's an award that I'm not even talking about genre specific awards, because the sci-fi awards have come out, and I think some crime. We've had 2 nominated for that. I don't mind awards. I have complicated feeling about awards, but I'm not going to talk about that here. I should do something else about awards in particular. But this, I have noticed something called, I've started noticing it on social media for the, I've got it written down here, it was the IBW, which is the Independent Bookshop Week, which I was aware of, and if you watch BookTube you will have seen books on my bag, and that's part of the Independent Bookshop Week, that's right. And they do their own awards, and I was vaguely aware of this, and it's the Annual Independent Bookshop Week Booksellers Awards. So these are obviously voted mainly by booksellers. So it has a slightly different feel about it. This is the 10th one, the 10th annual award, and the week is from the 18th to the 25th of June, and the winners of the awards are announced on the 17th of June. I didn't realise this, I've had to look all of this up, but there are 3 categories. So there's an adults, fiction and non-fiction in one, and there are 10 books up for that. Then there is children's, which looks like kind of middle grade fiction, so 9+ fiction. And then there is picture books, which again I think is 10 picture books. Yeah. So I was quite interested in these, and I had a look, and I looked at what last year's adults won, and it was, I didn't know, it was The Paying Guests by Sarah Waters. Still haven't read it, but there it is. That won last year for the adults. For the children's, it was, I've got it written down here, An Island of Our Own by Sally Nichols. I don't know if anybody's read it and rates it, then let us know. And then I looked at the adults and see what was on the list, fiction and non-fiction, and I actually found out I had 3 of them already, which, having watched other people's videos, I was like, oh yeah, I've got that. So these are 3 that are on the list that I've already got. So The Shepherd's Life, A Tale of the Lake District by James Rebanks. So that's non-fiction. Then we have Bill Bryson's The Road to Little Dribbling, which is more Notes from a Small Island. So it says here, to mark the 20th anniversary of that modern classic, Bryson makes a brand new journey around Britain to see what has changed. Husband's read that, says it's very good, passed that on to me and said, why don't you read? And then this, fiction-wise on the list, we have Kate Atkinson's A God in Ruins, which is a sequel / companion, I don't know exactly, having not read it yet, to what she wrote, the book Life After Life, which came out last year, which I was paperback last year, and I read it and thoroughly enjoyed it. My mother-in-law bought me this because she knew I'd love that. Haven't read that either. That's on my... So I was like, well, I've got all these books here, which I haven't read, and I'm watching other people's, and they're all focused on the adults. And I had a look at the list for the Children's Awards, not the picture books, but the actual Children's Award. And I thought, I've not seen anybody say they're going to do anything about that. And I've got a lad that likes fiction, And I quite happily read them to see what they're like. And I guess the more I thought about it, the more I thought, do you know, I think I could do something about that. So on my own back, no, not sponsored or not, you know, well, of course I'm not, but I just thought, I shall do something about this. I have gone and got 10 of the 12. Combination of buying ones that I think that we would buy anyway and from the library. So I'm missing 2, but I know a library that's got them in stock, and I just need this week to get myself in the car and go off to that library and pick those up. But I've got 10 of them. And what I thought I'd do, was I would read all 12, 10 that I have here, get my further 2. I'll read all of them and then come back and do a wrap up of just these books and say which is my top 3. Okay, so the 3 books that I think are really good, and then the one that I think is going to win. Now, I have no track record in doing this whatsoever, so I'm not a children's book reviewer or anything like that, but I just thought I'd have a go. I thought, I can do this, I can have a go at this, and so that's what I'm going to do. So let me show you the 10 that I've got here, and I'll tell you the name of the 2 that I will pick up this week, and the ones that I'm going to read. How cool's that? You can join in if you want, if you're interested in children's books. So it's a different kind of, let's play. So the first one I've got here is How to Train Your Dragon. This is How to Fight a Dragon's Fury by Cressida Cowell. Cressida. I'm butchering that, but that's in the How to Train a Dragon series. We have got 2 of these, which I know we've read one of them, definitely, but the films come out. My son quite likes the films, liked the books, but quite likes the films, but we thought we'd try that. This is the one that he is desperate to read. Pugs of the Frozen North by Philip Reeve and Sarah McIntyre. Look at that. And it has the best end papers. It's just pugs. And the back one, they've all got names. So you've got all the pugs have got names. So this is illustrated. Both of these, mainly they do seem to be illustrated as well. So that looks really good. So the pugs of the Frozen North. Okay, this is one that has gone on the rounds of BookTube anyway, by Patrick Ness's The Rest of Us Just Live Here. I thought. Which is Not Everyone Has to Be the Chosen One. So this is the friends of the superheroes. So I've seen that on BookTube. Wouldn't have probably picked it up if it hadn't been for this award, but I thought I'd give that a go. The Person Controller by David Baddiel, he's written quite a few adult books and he's written 2 children's books. There is The Parent Agency and this is the second one, The Person Controller. Different children, it's companion novel, it sounds like. Then we have Time Travelling with a Hamster, just the best names, by Ross Welford. And this comes along with if you liked A Curious Incident of the Dog at Night Time, then this is one that they recommend for that. And I did like that many years ago when I read that. Another great title, The Boy Who Sailed the Ocean in an Armchair, by Lara Williamson. It says here, a story of new beginnings and learning that goodbye isn't always the end. From the best-selling author of A Boy Called Hope. I'll let you know. Michael Morpurgo, from the author of Warhorse, an exceptionally well-known, exceptionally famous author. Kensuke's Kingdom. Now, I've seen this reviewed on BookTube again, and I've seen adults reading this because of it's Michael Morpurgo, and I think people just are drawn to him anyway because he was the children's laureate, wasn't he? Or have I just made that up? And then we've got David Solomon's My Brother is a Superhero. Again, that sounds a bit similar to the Patrick Ness, doesn't it? Which is Friends of Superheroes. Or This Is My Brother is a Superhero by David Solomons. So give that a go. This looks a bit more serious. Whistling in the Dark by Shirley Hughes. So this is a library copy, so it's a bit glary. Compelling wartime adventure set in the Liverpool Blitz. That sounds different. I haven't read anything like that from one of our greatest writers and illustrators. I do like the fact you get a little picture. I do like that. And then this is the last one that I've got. It's called One by Sarah Crossan. Their bond is unbreakable. About Siamese twins going to school for the first time when they're 16. Now, I had seen this on somebody's channel. So quite a few of these I have seen on people's channels for just their own reading. The other two that I haven't got are Goth Girl and the Wuthering Fright by Chris Riddell. Doesn't that sound good? I've seen the other ones in the series and they're very thin, and that's why I didn't buy it, because they look like they're really quick reads. So it's Goth Girl and the Wuthering Fright by Chris Riddell. And the other one is, now I'd almost bought this one anyway, just for the title, The Astounding Broccoli Boy. We love broccoli in this family. Astounding Broccoli Boy by Frank Cottrell Boyce. So those are the two I need to pick up from the library this week. And then I've got... You can read one of these. I think you can read one of these in the day. I mean, something like that. And if you look at them all, they're that kind of text. So I'm going to be able to, I can fly through these in a day. And I've got until the 17th. And today's the 3rd. So I've got 17 days. I've already read 2. So I'm sure I can do it. And then I will have read all of these and I'll be able to give you a little review of each of them. And then tell you my top 3. And then which one I think is going to win. How cool's that? I was very pleased with myself when I came up to the idea. I told the husband and he was like, if you want to. Obviously not thinking that he would join in, but yeah, no, I thought it sounds really good. Benedict is very pleased and has, as I say, was just obsessed with the pug book as soon as he saw it. So that was going to be, we know that one's going to be a hit. So yeah, how are you? Are you well? Any of these? Actually, would you fancy reading? She says, leaning over. This is the one for me. The Siamese twins one. I think that sounds quite good. So yeah. I'll get back to you. I'll get reading. I've got all those books to read. My how many books I've read this month will be impressive. Let's agree on that one. So yeah. See you, BookTube.